Hey there, welcome to Get in Flight. I'm Joshua, and today we're going to be doing a follow-up video on box fan air filters. So about a year ago, I put out a video showing how I add furnace filters to box fans to put in our bedrooms at night for more filtered air. Originally, we did this for pollen control during pollen season to help with allergies, and it recently has gotten a lot of traction because of forest fires. People are using them to filter out the air inside their home, trying to get rid of some of that smog. And a couple questions that keep popping up in the comment section is, why put the filter on the back versus the front? And does adding the filter heat up the motor of the fan? And is that a problem? So I'm gonna say, first off, I've been using this setup for going on 4 years. It's been 3.5, almost 4 years, and we have not had any issues. We change the filters regularly, and they run constantly. Every once in a while we'll shut them off just because you can hear the fan. It is a white noise, which is helpful when you're sleeping, but during the day sometimes you don't want it. But when we're not in there, we let them run, in addition to the whole house filters that we have on our forced air. And so I wanted to do a follow-up video. We're going to make a smoke room, and we're also going to measure some temperatures on the motor of these fans and see filter on the back, filter on the front, no filter at all. How does it change all that? And hopefully answer some of those questions that you guys had about box fan air filters. Alright, so this is what I came up with. I've got a pop-up shelter here with some painter's cloth, drop cloth, that makes an impromptu room. It's not airtight, but I think it will serve our purposes. I've also got a homemade smoke machine, which I'll show you here in a second. We're going to pump this little room full of smoke, and then we're going to run 2 different fans through there. One fan has got the filter on the front, and one fan has got the filter on the back, like I showed in my video with the channel. Alright, so here's my homemade smoke machine. I got a big old tin. This is an old popcorn tin, but I drilled 2 half-inch holes at the top. I got some O-rings, and the half-inch sides actually work really well to thread just standard air hose nipples onto it. And so I've got some clear PVC pipe on one side, and then I'll attach my air hose to the other side and regulate the air compressor down to just barely blowing. And the idea is we're going to stick a whole bunch of cheap incense in here. We're going to light them, blow them out, and they're going to smoke. Then we're going to take the compressed air, we're going to run it through this chamber, and it's going to pump smoke out of the tube and into our room so that we can fill it with smoke and then see how the filters work. We're going to blow it out. It should start smoking. I'm going to add the lid. And hey, if you're into DIY projects like this one, I invite you to come check out our group, DIYers, Tinkers, Fixers, and Makers. Check out the link in the description box below. Now let's go see how those fans work. So the heat from the incense smoke was starting to disfigure the piping that I was using to pump it in, so I just moved the whole unit into the room. Alright, we put plenty of smoke into there. It's starting to come out the top, and I peeked in, and it's definitely smoky. So we've got the fan on high with the filter on the back, and we're going to run the fan. Alright, here's the filter on the front. The fan is on the highest speed. Alright, so we just finished with the second fan. I don't know that we're going to see any appreciable difference between the performance of pulling the air through a filter or pushing it through a filter. My guess is we're not going to be able to see a difference. And I would also assume that you would not experience a difference. You're moving the filter 5 inches one way or the other. I didn't want to look at a filter every time I walked in the room. Looking at a box fan, I can deal with. They're not the prettiest things in the world, but for less than $50, they definitely compare to buying a several $100 HEPA filter. And so having the filter on the back was more aesthetically pleasing to me. And it also doesn't mess with the balance of the fan. The fan has got those little plastic feet on the back, and having the filter on the back puts any additional weight, although be it small, over the stands, over the supports. Alright, so now comes the fun part. We're going to take a laser thermometer, and we're going to run the fans with the filter on the front, the filter on the back, and no filter, and we're going to take some temperature readings of the back of the motor. We'll see what those numbers tell us and go from there. Alright, so we've been half an hour with the filters on the front. 85, 90, 95, 92, 96, 80, now it's dropping. So about 96, 95, 96 is what the highest. 96, 89, 91, 95, 98, 100, 102, 98. So the highest this one got was 102. Let's put the filters on the back and try it again. Alright, so we're at a half an hour runtime with the filters on the back. 91, 92, 89, 90, holding still at 90. 89, 94, 88, 92, 91, 90. Looks like the highest we got was 94, now it's at 92. So the ambient temperature right now on that shed back there is 81. On the lock of the shed, it's 80. So it's about 80, 81 degrees out here as a baseline. We're gonna run these with no filters, take those measurements, and then we'll let them cool down for half an hour. I'll take the measurements of the bare metal. Should be the same, about 80. Alright, so another half an hour with no filters. So this should be just a regular operating temperature. 88, 87, 88, 89, 90, 90, 86, 92. This is about 90 degrees is the operating temperature on this one. 95, 100, 102, 97, 94, 96, 96, 99, 95, 92, 98. So let these cool off 45 minutes, almost an hour. Let's just get some ambient temperature readings on that metal. We got 79, constant at 79, constant at 79. All right, let's take these back to the shop and go over the numbers. So what did we learn? Well, I'll let you be the judge on which one filtered the smoke better, filter on the front or filter on the back. Personally, I think filter on the back works better, it's more stable, and it sends only filtered air through the fan, so the fan itself gets less dirty over time. As far as temperature goes, the fan that was on the left, all three scenarios were within 4 degrees of each other. The one on the right were within 8 degrees of each other. The one with the filter on the back was actually the lowest temperature that I recorded. Now, there's a lot of variables in this. It's not a controlled experiment by any means, it's just anecdotal. But in my opinion, adding the filters to the front or the back really did not put much strain at all on the electric motor here. So do I think you should do this? I can't tell you that. You are going against what the directions of the box fan say, not to put anything to block airflow. Filter filters air and therefore blocks airflow a little bit. You assume risk when you do something against the directions, and I cannot tell you whether you should or should not do that. All I can tell you is that from my experience, I've had good results of filtering the air, and I've been using these for 3.5, almost 4 years with no issues. So a few last things to consider and remind you if you are going to do this project. One, get a filter rated to whatever you want to filter out. These are MERV 13 and they're rated to filter out smoke. So they all have an arrow on them. Make sure that the way you're pushing or pulling the air through the filter is the way that's supposed to go, because it doesn't work backwards, it only goes one way. And also, make sure that you're changing them regularly. If you're in wildfire right now or heavy pollen season, you're gonna have to change these filters more regularly than when you're not. So, just pay attention to them, change those filters out as needed. If you found some value in this video and you found it helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel, and let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see. Until next time, I'm Joshua and you've been watching Gander Flight. Take care and pay it forward.